it's great. It's great to have you again for one of our weekly online talks. I know it's been a long time since we had one, but I think that people really enjoy having these talks. And we're very fortunate today to have an excellent speaker with us who will discuss everything about his past, and he will tell us all about how he became a motivational speaker, because that's who Anthony is. And he was born in Kenya and grew up in Kenya, but he now lives in Greece. I'm sure we'll know all the story about that in a minute or two. He's also an author of a few books. He's written one book which is fascinating, really, I don't know which order he wrote these books, so he'll tell us. But they're both fascinating. And he's the owner of a podcast called Book Talk. That's obviously also very interesting to all of us. And he's the founder of a platform called meetachieve.com that connects people to achieve their dreams. And he loves traveling. He likes to paint as well, which is a brilliant combination between, having a life beside your work and beside your passion. But the great thing about, or what motivates Anthony the most, is that he wants to make sure that people can perform the best that they possibly can and be the best version of themselves. And we're really glad to be able to connect with you. And I would invite you anyway to go and read his books and visit his website that we'll put in the link of this. But I want to know, who is Anthony really? Because that's the image, that's the facade, that's the mask that we all give ourselves. But who are you really behind the image that you want to portray and project to the world? And welcome.
Thank
nice
you
to have you with us today.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. I'm very honored and humbled to be in your podcast today to discuss quite a lot of issues that maybe we have ahead of us. And who is Anthony? As you introduced, and thank you for the introduction, I am from Kenya. Do I also say my age? Maybe I'm heading to 50. I'm 49 years old, and I've lived my life the way I have lived it. I'm happy of how far I've come up to this point. I say that there is much that has been given to me that I ought to share with other people who are there, because we get gifts in order to share the gifts. So this is where I am coming in to be a good example to people who may be reading me, because I always say that each and every one of us are a book and someone is reading us, whether we like it or not. Now, what they are going to read from the way that you live your life is going to determine how they live theirs. We are here for one another, to influence one another, to inspire one another, and to live life to the fullest through our examples. So I have a deep desire, and this is Anthony, I have a deep desire to see other people live life fully, live it good, and accomplish things. So maybe we can just start there. That's who Anthony is. And this is why maybe we are here, because I would want to see John accomplish great things in life.
You're ever so kind. Thank you for this lovely introduction, who I think puts you in perspective. So let's ask ourselves, you've got your book behind you, which is Achieve Your Dreams. Or achieve your dream. Do you think that it's okay to achieve more than one dream, or do we have one dream in life to achieve? What do you think?
That's a very good question, John. And achieving more than one dream. First and foremost, we start by asking the listener, what's that dream that you have? Do you have one dream? Do you have many dreams? And it starts by how you define a dream. What's that thing that maybe you are yearning for? That thing that you may imagine yourself being tomorrow, accomplishing. My book and what I talk about is anything achieved that you would want to, any desire that you may have to accomplish, and then you accomplish it. So your dream could be just you waking up tomorrow for some. The other dream could be amassing a big amount of money for another person. And another dream could be to finish school. That could be a dream. So it's possible. And actually, in life, we achieve a lot of dreams that we have. And it's more than possible to achieve many dreams in our own life. But then we come here and ask you, do you have a life goal, a purpose, a big one that you would want everyone to know it? Or if you achieve that big dream that you have, it's going to mean everything, and all the others will just be fillers of whatever it is that you're working upon. So I could wake up one day and I have one goal that I'm pursuing, and that's all that it matters. I don't care whatever other little thing that I have achieved. I don't even note it, because I'm going after this one big dream. But by the side, there are small accomplishments that is going to add up to this one big dream that I have. So it's possible to achieve many dreams.
I think that we say dreams, but effectively they are goals that we want to achieve in life, and we go from one goal to the next according to our path in life, and these can change and evolve because of what we learn, because of what we achieved in the past. That leads us to a new destination,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a succession of dreams which are either planned by those who are intentional, or which is accidental by those who follow their instincts. And both ways are fine, I imagine. But some people want to be more structured, and others want to follow a story, the story of their life, and others want to have a plan and have a direction that they want to follow. Now, what happens, I imagine, is that when you are following your path in life, you also have accidents in life. You have things that steer you in another direction, which move you from your original plan to another direction. And I always say that people don't change by uh, by following what they need to do. They follow because they have to follow a new route. It's not by desire that people change. It's by obligation that they change. And I think one of the secrets for being happy in life is to not simply accept the fate that you follow through life, but it's to find that these obstacles that are given to you are really an indication of where you need to go. You know, they're showing you the way. And I think that's a very powerful message to give to people. It's not a message of hope, it's simply an understanding that when you are following your path and something happens and redirects you, not understanding that, "Oh, I'm not going to reach my goal." Yeah, it's because that's not the goal you were supposed to follow. You were supposed to follow this direction, and you are steered, you are guided in the right direction by these obstacles. And I think that that is something key to remember. But
Yeah.
why do you think it's please?
Yes, go ahead. Why?
Why is it so important to be good in today's world, which is so difficult? I mean, look at the world around us. The world is completely crazy. So why do we need to be good despite all the evil that is around us? And can we actually be good in an evil world?
Yes, and thank you for that wonderful question. It is important to be good. It's possible to be good in an evil world. And the thing is to just see it every single day that you wake up and imagine the impact that you're making around you. And if one bad thing added to this world, one bad person added to this world, an action, a, a, a bad goal that you add to this world is going to blow this world apart. Now, it's important for you, who's the listener or a viewer, to purpose to be good because there's a lot of bad things happening around. Now, it's your goodness that will keep the world going on. Because if we all wake up tomorrow and all I'm thinking about is how I'm going to destroy you, and you are thinking of how you are going to destroy me, then by the end of the day, the world will be gone. Because we have a lot of evil, but it's not all evil. Otherwise, we couldn't be surviving at this day that we are surviving. It's not all evil. We still have some good. And your goodness is important to keep it going, to keep the world revolving as it is doing right now. Yeah. And it's choice. It's a choice that you make. It's not automatic, and it's not something you are forced upon, but it's a matter of being a positive thinker and a positive actor, so that we make this world a better place from your goodness and my goodness.
I think you've mentioned something just now which is very important. It's not just about being a positive thinker, but it's also about being a positive actor. So a lot of people say, if I think positively, everything will be okay in my life and everything around me will be fine. But you need to act to get these positive results. So what does it mean to you to be a positive actor? And what are the features that you put in place in your life to be a positive actor, Anthony?
Thank you very much, John, for that question. Now, it's only today that I was thinking, and I would call the listener or the viewer to imagine this scenario. It's something that happens maybe on a daily basis. You may not have paid much attention to it. But let's say that I have a handful of seeds with me. Let's call it corn or beans or whatever kind of seed that you have in your hand. And you just imagine yourself having an abundance of a harvest from the seeds that you have. If you keep on holding on those seeds for the next 100 years, nothing is going to happen. But if you want the harvest, you really want the multiplication of the seeds that are in your hand, then you've got to take an action. Come from where you are right now, go out of your house into the garden, plow it, and put the seeds in the ground so that they can multiply. It is only your action that is going to produce some results. You may have the gifts in you, using the seeds as an example, as a representative of things that you may be having in you. You may have a gift, you may have talents, but as long as you are going to stay with them and not going out there and taking an action to make sure that they impact someone or they produce a result in some place, you don't do that, then nothing is going to happen. There is not going to be a result. There's not going to be an impact on some person's life. So action is very important. And you ask a question, how do I make sure that I take an action? I talk a lot about this on my workbook, which is the Achieve Your Dream workbook. But then for you to make sure, or for you to be inspired to take an action, then you must have a purpose. You must have a why. We call it a why you do the things you do. And if I need a harvest, why would it be important to me, the harvest? And what kind of harvest am I dreaming of? Now, the kind of harvest that I'm dreaming of, the kind of result I'm looking forward to, is going to determine the desire that I'm going to be having in me, that will prompt me and inspire me to take an action towards going to the garden, using the same example, and plant those seeds. So my purpose, my why, is going to push me to take that action. The stronger your why, the stronger your reason, the quicker and the more determined you're going to do whatever it is that you have to do.
A lot of people actually confuse the why and their passion. And you hear so many people say, just follow your passion and everything will be fine and it's going to be easy. And if you follow your passion, everything is going to be fine. But that is not necessarily your purpose. That is not necessarily your why. And that's why I think a lot of people are lost, because they have been told by so many people to follow their passion, to do something that they like, that they enjoy, and things will be okay. But it only lasts for a little while. It helps them to get through, because without that initial passion, you will not push through. You will not go through all the efforts, sweat, and tears that it takes to develop a business, for instance, or to launch something significant in life. You need more than passion. You need to identify, you need to embody, you need to incarnate your why, your purpose. You need to be that purpose and understand deeply what that purpose is. So, do you have an exercise that could help people to understand deeply within themselves what their purpose is, what that purpose can be? Because we all, I mean, why are we here? That's the first why to ask ourselves, why are we here? Nobody asked to be here. Our parents wanted us to be here, hopefully, but we didn't ask. So as we are here, we must have a reason for being here. And that reason is the seed that grows into your long-term full purpose. But what exercise can people do to try and discover what their deeper purpose is? Do you have a recipe for that?
Thank you very much, John, for that question. And going back to the idea that our dreams are different, and tying it with our dreams, our purpose could then be different for each and every one of us. And I would use an example of someone who wants to amass millions and millions of dollars to live life the way they would want to. And I also use an example that we all know of people who sacrifice their life for the lives of others. Mother Teresa is someone I like mentioning. She gives her life to make sure that the poor live a life that is fulfilling. That's her purpose. And that purpose, when she looks at smiling children who are healthy, that's what prompted her to take the action that she took, and then went on to fulfill her purpose, the purpose that she identified was hers. You are listening, and you have a deep have a deep idea of something that you would like to be 5 years, 10 years to come. Do you have a passion, or do you have that love for the other human being? Do you have an idea of maybe owning lands somewhere? And what would that do? What would that mean for you? What would that mean for humanity? And this, after identifying what it is that you could be in the near future, if you sit down and identify that and the purpose, the theme that is going to fulfill in your life, then this can help you now identify exactly the way that you could be going. This would shape your why, looking forward, looking ahead. And then now that's the direction you could be moving from here henceforth.
Thank you very much. But how can young entrepreneurs and startups who want to grow their business, who ultimately want to build their business first and then grow it so that they can scale on the longer term, how can they benefit from increasing their level of happiness? Because we both know that there is a direct link between being happy and having a successful business. But what is the link? How can we explain that link to our auditors and our viewers, our audience here, who have an aspiration to launch a disruptive offer so that they can develop their business and serve the world, hopefully, with their offer, with their product or with their service that they will create and develop? How will their level of happiness help them increase their level of success in business?
That's a good question, John. How is your level of happiness going to influence your level of success in life? Now, it is agreeable that there are two things here that affect one another. Your emotions will always affect your actions. Now, you will discover that if you're gloomy, you don't feel like doing a lot of things on that particular day. Whereas if you are happy, I find John somewhere sitting and I tell John, hey, John, I would like you to join me as we go for a walk. And John is a happy person. The difference between you and the gloomy person is that you're going to respond faster to that invitation than to someone who is thinking maybe of his disadvantages, is of someone of low self-esteem. He's not happy. If you're happy, you're going to respond quickly to situations. And if you respond quickly to situations, actions will always lead to results. And the actions that you take, when you are an entrepreneur and you want to accomplish things in life, your level of happiness is going to determine your level of action. And if it's going to influence the level of action that you're going to take, then we identify here that happiness is an important thing. If you're happy, you're going to take action. If you take action, you're going to have some results. The quicker you get the results, the better for you that you're going to accomplish in good time.
Absolutely.
Mm.
But we're getting to the end of our time here, and I just wonder what would be some last thoughts that we could share on this topic, and what would be a great topic for maybe another conversation together. But what are your last thoughts that we would like to share with our viewers and in audience here that would help them see tomorrow in a better light, despite everything that goes on in the world as we speak?
Thank you for that question. Now, please remember, this world has been here for years and years. Children are born on a daily basis, and technology is moving fast. Now, if you didn't invent something today, someone has invented something, and it's going to be here in the world in the very near future. You've got to always remember that there is hope for tomorrow. And my invitation to you is, let that hope be you. Be the hope that we want to look upon for a better tomorrow. Decide that you're going to be a good individual. And it's not only a matter of just thinking, but decide that the good that you imagine yourself to be and the results that you imagine yourself to produce is going to require the action that you're going to take. Be a person of good intention, but more than that, be a a person of good action on a daily basis. The hope of this world depends on you and what you're going to think, what you're going to do as we continue to wake up to a new day tomorrow. Let that be you. And I always like using this hashtag, which is based on my book, Be Good for Good.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you very much for these last words. And I thank you for your time with us today. And I look forward to seeing you on TikTok or anywhere else, or maybe in Athens one day, who knows. But take good care of yourself, Anthony. And I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.